Shalom, brothers and sisters. So, wars, rumors of wars, the threats of nuclear annihilation becoming an everyday thing that people don't even bat an eye at that anymore. And we're seeing it more and more and more. And since September kicked off, it seems to be ramping into overdrive. And here's just 3 stories that I'm going to share with you on the whole nuclear threat and the way it's taken so lightly. First one, Russia puts its longest range nuke-capable missile on combat duty. Russia on Friday announced that the Sarmat ICBMs are now on combat duty. RIA has quoted the head of the country's space agency Roscosmos, Yuri Borisov, to confirm the Sarmat strategic complex is now on combat duty. The nuclear-capable Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile system, previously touted by President Putin as being capable of hitting any target on Earth, and is widely believed to be by far the longest-range missile in Russia's arsenal, or in the world for that matter. It's been nicknamed by NATO the Satan II. How perfect is that for the times we're living in? The devil is now having weapons named after himself because he is the author of this destruction. The Sarmat, which is a super heavy missile, has a short initial boost phase which gives it better ability to elude conventional anti-missile defense systems, given this result in a much smaller window of time to track it. By design, the super long range gives it the ability to reach targets and thousands of miles away in the US or Europe. So you can't really stop it. You've got a very small window to try and block it, and it can reach pretty much anywhere. According to the specifications, it is the heaviest missile that Russia possesses at over 200 tons and heavier than all competitors. This allows it to carry around 15 warheads of 715 kilotons. The bomb the US dropped on Hiroshima was 15 kilotons. So 15 warheads of 750 kilotons each. This would be enough to wipe out a country the size of France. It can also carry hypersonic missiles, rendering most missile defenses ineffective. Interesting. So, threat number 1. Number 2, Putin puppet threatens to wipe NATO countries out with nukes in a World War III warning on live TV. The prominent Kremlin propagandist called on Moscow to wipe Baltic countries off the map using nukes. Vladimir Solovyov, a presenter on the state-controlled TV, made a terrifying threat to NATO following a series of devastating drone attacks on Russian territory. One attack obliterated military aircraft in Pskov, Russia. It was one of 6 areas targeted that day, the biggest wave of drone strikes on Russian land since the war began. According to the translation, a Ukrainian government advisor, Solovyov, said in a furious televised rant, "Massive drone attack on Russian objects. What happened in Pskov? Let's break the situation down. The NATO border is close by. Where was the drone launched from? From Ukraine? Doubtful. From the Baltics? If so, the Baltic states must be destroyed, wiped off the map." Kiev has yet to claim responsibility for the attack that destroyed 4 Il-76 aircraft. The city is 800 kilometers north of Kiev and is near the border with Estonia. But Solovyov said the Baltics should still be attacked, even if it states in the region that they are not responsible for the strikes. He continued, "Not from the Baltics, diversion and reconnaissance group, still we need to hit the Baltics with a vengeance." Solovyov later added, if the attack was carried out from NATO's territory, it is a declaration of war against Russia by NATO. He went on, "This means the response must be immediate and must include nuclear weapons." I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Everybody's Putin is so bad. There are so many worse, all queuing in the wings to take over the day Putin steps aside, and it'll get mega worse than what it is right now, if that is even possible. Then finally, North Korea fires mock nuclear warheads as Kim Jong-Un seeks counter to the US and the South. The state media called the weekend's drills a simulated tactical nuclear attack aimed at warning enemies of the actual nuclear war danger. Analysts say that Kim is desperate to deter South Korea with plans to strike military facilities in the South and US bases in Japan at the same time. North Korea staged a simulated tactical nuclear attack at the weekend with mock atomic warheads attached to 2 long-range cruise missiles test-fired into the ocean. The fish are going to get really upset at some stage. The Korean Central News Agency said the operation on Saturday was a counter-action drill in response to the joint military activity by the US and South Korean forces. A firing drill for simulated tactical nuclear attack was conducted to warn enemies of actual nuclear war danger. So again, nuclear threat, nuclear threat, nuclear threat, never ending, everybody's threatening. At some stage, when the restraint is gone, the restrainer, all these people will have free range to do exactly what they've been practicing, threatening, and preparing to do all along. And unfortunately, from what I'm looking at, if they resort to nuclear and not conventional, there is a lot of things people are not thinking about. Prevailing wind patterns with radiation fallout, dead earth where those things have landed, knockout of electrical systems if they detonate in the atmosphere. There is so many things, and the fallout of the larger population of civilians that are going to die because of said nuclear strikes is huge. People should really go look at the simulations. It is scary the amount of deaths that will result, not just from the cities that are struck by the nuclear weapons, but from the fallout afterwards and the damage that comes in the aftermath. It is an ongoing death wave that rolls out from anybody, anywhere that uses nukes. And it's tit for tat, which is meaning I launched my nuke, now you've launched your nuke, and now we're nuking each other, and the little guy in the bottom gets a fright because he sees missiles in the sky and he just starts lobbing nukes, and now everybody with something that looks like it can go boom in the night is launching theirs too. Not somewhere you want to raise your kids, not somewhere you want to live. Be grateful that the King is coming to relieve us and save us from this clown show. Pray that more people open their eyes to the gospel of Jesus Christ and be saved while they have time to escape even worse that is lying ahead. God bless. Keep looking up. Shalom.